More than 54 boat landing events are planned across the state to make this year's Aquatic Invasive Species Awareness Week.
Joining us now is aquatic biologist Kevin Walters to talk more about public awareness. Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Good morning, guys.
Well, let's first start with a broad definition of what invasive species are and what to look out for.
Yeah, so the definition of invasive species really has two parts. First, it's something that's non-native. So something that is not originally from Michigan or does not belong in Michigan. And the second part, which is maybe more important, is that they either cause harm or have the potential to cause harm to three things. And that's Michigan's economy, Michigan's environment, and in rare cases, harm to human health.
So, and we've talked about this over the years. We're talking something like Asian carp. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
Exactly, something that isn't originally found in Michigan or in the Great Lakes or in the waters of the state and has the potential to come here and then cause some sort of harm. And in the case of invasive or Asian carp, they can be harm to the environment and harm to Michigan's economy too. They're going to cost us money.
Well, what kind of events are planned for Invasive Species Awareness Week?
Yeah, so we state agencies work with local volunteer groups such as lake associations and conservation districts to host small events at boat ramps and boating access sites throughout the state where boaters and anglers gather to recreate, and we spread simple messaging to boaters about simple things they can do to help us prevent the spread and introduction of aquatic invasive species. Things like clean, drain, dry. We tell people to clean their boats and gear when they're done using them at the ramp. We tell them to drain all the water that's pulling drain plugs, running bilge pumps, drying out all the water that you can from your boat. And then lastly, drying, hand towel, dry your boat. And if you can, not always feasible, but if you can, allow your boats and equipment to dry for several days between uses at different water bodies.
And Kevin, is there any species right now that you're somewhat concerned about in the waters here?
Yeah, geez, there's a whole bunch of species I could list, and we have something called Michigan's Aquatic Invasive Species Watch List, which can be found on our website. And those are our species of most concern. There's several plant species and several fish and animal species. One you've mentioned is several species of invasive carp. There's some plant species that we don't have yet in Michigan that are somewhat close, or we think will be getting close based on the pathways that they move around. Species like hydrilla, that's an aquatic invasive plant that can kind of wreak havoc in lakes and take over and really impede fishing, boating, water access. So there's a whole list that we're concerned about and some that we prioritize in terms of watching for and trying to do something about when they get here early.
So in raising awareness, Michiganders can actually identify and report. Can you talk about that process?
Yeah, exactly. So we have an app. It's called the MISSIN app, the Midwest Invasive Species Information Network. It's an app you can download on your phone or your iPad. And so when you're out recreating on the water, and if you find something you think might be an invasive species, there's identification tools in the app. And there's also reporting mechanisms in the app so that your potential sightings or occurrences of invasive species get reported to folks in my agency and the DNR, who are experts in identifying those and then know the steps to take if one of our watch list species is found.